Ready?
Ooh, Grandmama. Land of mercy.
Y'all, you gotta make this one.
Woo. Welcome to Grandma Rose's Open Pantry YouTube channel, where she takes healthy food first off, puts it together, and then makes it taste delicious. Put good taste back in healthy food.
Deliciousness back in healthy food. Good morning, y'all. Welcome to my kitchen. It's a beautiful Monday morning. The sun is shining. It's a little nippy outside, but not really cold. Before I go any farther, I want to thank everyone for all you new subscribers that I've got, where I try to cook. Y'all will find out that I try to cook low carb, keto, no sugar, low glycemic load. I try to check
Gluten.
all the boxes, and gluten-free.
Right.
All of my recipes don't cover all of that, but if you will watch my videos, I do cover a lot of that in just one recipe, and then others I cover it in different dishes. So y'all check out my channel. And I want to say, we were at church last night. We had special meetings at our church, and we go to Faith Tabernacle in Byron. And so I met three, one of them is an old friend, Barbara Gibson from Florida. She's a very old friend of mine, and she was there. And I met another lady, Rebecca Fleming. I'm not sure if she lives in Byron, Warner Robins, Macon. But she lives in that area somewhere. And so she's a loyal subscriber. And I also I already knew this lady, Martha Watts, but I got reacquainted with her tonight. So I wanted to tell y'all good morning and hello, and what a pleasure it was to see y'all last night. So, all right, today, this would be called lasagna, except I don't have lasagna noodles, and I don't know where I can get low carb, gluten-free lasagna noodles. And I have found that a lot of gluten-free pastas are not really good. So I use hearts of palm for my spaghetti. And this is going to be a spaghetti dish, but it's going to have some of the same ingredients that a lasagna would have. I'm using hearts of palm linguine. I could use the angel hair pasta, but this is a thicker pasta. So this is what I'm using today. Now, if you're not low carb or whatever, you can use this same recipe and use your lasagna. As a matter of fact, this was not a low carb, gluten-free recipe. I took it and made it that for me. So you can make this dish exactly like I'm making it, except use regular lasagna noodles if you're not trying to watch your carbs, okay? Or your gluten. Now the first thing we're gonna do is make our sauce, and I've got 1 egg here. And if you know lasagna, you always make a little sauce with ricotta cheese, egg, Parmesan cheese, and it goes in between your layers. Well, I'm going to whisk. This is 1 egg. I'm gonna whisk it together. Now I did not have ricotta cheese, so I'm using cottage cheese. I have seen recipes where it calls for cottage cheese, and I have used cottage cheese before, so I'm using it today. But I'll tell you what I did. I put it in my food processor, and I processed it until it was almost the consistency of ricotta cheese. So, and I don't think you'll be able to tell any difference. And it may be a good way that if you don't like cottage cheese, that you can learn to like it. So, all right. Now I've got 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. This is 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. And this is going to be our filling that goes in between our lasagna, like if you were making a red sauce. That's kind of what this would be. All right, now this is 1.5 cups of grated mozzarella cheese. Okay, and I'll stir that in. I think I got that right. Yeah, I was looking at, it's so many steps to it till I had to, that looks a little thick to me, so I tell you what I'm gonna do. I got a little heavy cream here that goes in another sauce, so I'm gonna mix a little heavy cream. Okay, that looks better. Okay, all right. Now I'm just gonna let this sit right here, and we're going over to the stove. Now, I've told y'all before, my hearts of palm pasta, anybody's hearts of palm pasta is a little bland. Well, it's pretty much bland.
It is pretty much bland,
Pretty much
Rose.
bland. So I always doctor mine up. I put onion powder, garlic powder, salt, and I'm not going to put any pepper in it, but I am going to put, I'm going to put a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, and I've turned it on, and I'm going to use, I'm going to put a 1/4 cup. Now this is chicken broth. Now I'm going to put a 1/2 cup.
Now this really helps. The chicken broth really helps the
It
flavor.
really does. And I am going to put some salt in that. I'm going to put a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Okay. You have to doctor it up in order, but once you do, it is really good. It's really good. Okay. So I'm just going to let this heat up and let some of those spices kind of get into this pasta. And I'm just going to leave it on kind of low and just let it sit here while I'm doing my other sauce over here. Okay. Now I'm telling you, you need to doctor it up just a little bit. I'm going to taste of it once it gets hot, and I may need to add a little bit more garlic and a little bit more onion to it. But everything else is so well seasoned till I may not need to do that. Okay, I've got 4 tablespoons of butter in my, it's softened butter because it sit here and got soft in my skillet. Now to this, I'm going to add 1 cup of onion, or 1 medium onion chopped. And I'm going to cook my onions, and I'm going to add 1 tablespoon, I think. Let me get I had to jot this down because there's so many steps. My brain couldn't remember all this. 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. I'm going to cook it for about 4 minutes until my onions get translucent. Then we're going to add chicken broth. We're going to add Italian seasoning, basil, heavy cream. Now, this is cornstarch. This is 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. If you're really wanting this to stay really, really, really low carb, use xanthan gum or arrowroot gum, or all you keto people out there know what you can use as a thickener. I don't mind a little bit, since everything else is mostly just hardly 0 carb. I don't mind there's 7 grams of carbs in 1 tablespoon. This is 2 tablespoons. That's 14 grams of carbs, but this is going to be about 8 cups. So when you divide this 14 into those 8 cups, you're not going to have maybe 2
to 3 in a cup full.
Yeah, in a cup full of your spaghetti.
And she's designing the dish so that you can eat a cup full without really spiking your insulin.
Yeah, so I don't mind that. Okay. Now, if you do, you have your own thickener. You know what you can use, so use it.
And if you're on a real strict keto diet, this makes a difference. If you're on maintenance, it doesn't.
Right. All right. That is my 1 cup of chopped onion. And that just had cornstarch in it. So, you know what? I won't use it. This is a 1/2 tablespoon. So I'm going to put 2 of these. because I want 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. I'm going to put a little bit of that juice in it. I'm going to put a little bit of the juice in my pasta over there too. Alright, this has got to cook for 4 minutes. So after 4 minutes, I've already got my filling behind me. And it calls for rotisserie chicken. Roy was so sweet. When I go to the grocery store, I usually buy 2 rotisserie chickens. And I may put them both in the freezer, or we may eat one and I put one in the freezer. So this is about 3.5 cups of rotisserie chicken that Roy picked for me this morning. I took it out of the freezer last night. And so it's just a quick, easy way. As a matter of fact, this recipe called for rotisserie chicken. So you can cook your own chicken. That's just up to you, whatever you want to do. If you don't have rotisserie and you have chicken, cook your own chicken. Just boil it or pan fry it and then just shred it up, chop it up, ever how you want. So, okay. This has got about 4 minutes to cook until my onions turns translucent. Then we're going to add all of our other ingredients. My pasta is over here getting hot and all those wonderful spices are beginning to infuse in it. So we will we'll be back as soon as we get ready to put our other ingredients in our onions here.
And for those of you who are diabetic or worry about glycemic load, this is a very low glycemic load dish. You're on camera, Grandmama.
Okay, now you want to cook this on like between medium and medium high because you do not want that garlic to burn. So that's what it's been cooking for about 4 minutes, and you can see the garlic is cooking nicely and my onions are just beginning to turn translucent. Now goes in my 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, and I'm going to stir this and let my cornstarch cook for just a little bit until it starts turning just a little bit, not much. All right, I'll get my spoon back now. But I want to get that cornstarch just kind of whisked in a little bit. And y'all can see my noodles are, I'm fixing to turn them off because they've been, I think all the garlic and everything is kind of infused in them pretty good. Now, I've got my oven set on 375. Now remember, I'm using kind of like a lasagna recipe here, but we're making spaghetti out of it, so.
Well, if you'd had a good lasagna noodle, you could have.
I would have used them, yep.
So this is as close as she could get to lasagna.
Yes, yes it is. Okay, all right, now to this, let me get my notes. I had to jot down notes because I'm telling you, there's a lot to this. All right, not a lot, but just several steps. And a brand new recipe like this, I like to go step by step, where if I make it next time, I'll know what I'm doing, and I won't have to use notes.
Well, she spent an hour and a half making up the ingredients that she wanted in it this morning.
Yeah, that took a while. All right, that's 1 teaspoon of basil, 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning. Now, I'm going to start off with 1.5 cups. This is chicken broth. With 1.5 cups and 1 cup of heavy cream. All right, I'm going to whisk that because it's got the cornstarch in it. Some of my spices are on that spoon, and I surely don't want to lose any of those. Okay. Now remember, it's on like 6.5 between medium and medium high. Okay. Whisk all that cornstarch in there good. Now for y'all that are scared, this is a non-stick skillet, but it is not a coating. It is I love the skillet. I bought it at an antique store, and it doesn't scratch. It doesn't it's not one of those coatings that peel off. It's all the way through. I love the skillet. And a lot of y'all want to know where I got it. Well, I got it at an antique market. So I wish I could find them, but I've looked them up. I can't even find this name brand. I don't know how old this skillet is, but I love it because you can cook on top of the stove, then you can slide it in the oven. Okay. Now, I think, let me see. I think I got to put some salt, okay. Half a teaspoon of salt. 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. My pepper's over here. Okay, 1/4 teaspoon. 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder goes in here. Even though we put a tablespoon of garlic, it still gets, let me see, yeah. 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. It gets, okay, it gets 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. So this is a 1/4 cup. I don't have your shredded Parmesan, so I'm having to use this grated. All right.
Well, the first rule of the kitchen is you have to use what you got.
It is, and that's what I'm doing this morning, because Roy said, well, honey, you know I'll go to the grocery store and get anything you want. I said, no. Oh! It's kind of clumpy, y'all. I said, we're not going to the grocery store. I'll make do with what I got.
And she's making such a large batch today.
Yeah.
Because she's going to put some in the freezer for our company next week.
Yep. So, ooh, look at that. That is really beginning to
come together, isn't it?
To get thick. All right, let me make sure. Okay. I think that's everything that I'm supposed to put in there, except I'm going to need to put this other 1/2 cup of chicken broth. It called for 2 cups, but I wasn't sure. It called for a 1/4 cup of flour. Well, to keep it gluten-free, I used the cornstarch, and I only used half the cornstarch to what the flour called for. So I wasn't sure that it was going to take that full 2 cups of broth, but it is. Okay, and I did tell y'all my oven is set on 375 degrees. All right, I'm going to let this cook for a couple of minutes. I think I've got everything in it. So I'm going to let it cook for a couple of minutes. And then we're going to be back and we're going to put it all together.
All right, Grandma, we're at the construction site now.
I have got a table full here. This is when my table needs to be about this much bigger. All right. Now this is when we're going to add. Now I've got a 9x13 dish here. So I'm going to add some of my sauce to the bottom. Like that. Not a whole bunch. And I'm going to add noodles. My parts of palm pasta. And this is the linguine noodles here.
It's actually the lasagna noodles.
Yeah. Okay. Then we're going to add some of my ricotta or cottage cheese mixture in here. I'll use my fingers. I may have to get out another pack of my noodles here because this is not as much as the lasagna. You'd have like 9, you're supposed to have like 3 layers of this, which would be 9 lasagna noodles. So I may have to get out another pack and add to this because this is supposed to be a full 9x13. And
it is.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking when I just got out the 2 packs of my hearts of palm pasta, but I keep several packs in there, so I have another pack if I need to. All right, that is our ricotta or our cottage cheese mixture. Then we're going to add chicken. Now this is just shredded chicken. Uh-oh, there's a big piece. I don't want any big pieces in here. I'll kind of break it up with my fingers. Okay. Boy, it looks like it's going to be delicious. Now you add as much chicken as you want.
I'll eat it before you put it in the oven.
I know.
Ooh.
Well, everything in it is done.
Yeah, the chicken's done.
And everything is
sauce
done.
is done.
Yep. Now,
Noodles
it
are
doesn't
done.
call for it, but let me use this hand. I'm going to put a little bit of mozzarella cheese in the middle.
Between
The
the
recipe
layers.
didn't say do this, but I want just a little bit. And I'm going to put a little bit of my grated Parmesan in the middle. Now, this is just up to you. This is just what I want to do. All right. This is another layer of sauce going on. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go get some more noodles. All right.
How many
Man.
layers of sauce have you got to put on?
It's supposed to be 3.
Okay, well, you've got plenty for that.
Hopefully.
Yep,
Hopefully
yep,
I
yep.
do. Y'all, that is delicious.
Oh, I've tasted of the sauce.
That would be good just to put over pasta. I'm telling you.
You could put it over a broom handle and it'd be good.
That is delicious. So if you just want to make this sauce, just go by my recipe and make this sauce. It is absolutely
delicious.
marvelous.
Yes, it is.
Okay, now my noodles. Okay. I may only have 2 layers, but that's okay. That's all right. Because if I have any of this or any of the ricotta left, the cottage cheese left,
It won't go to waste. will
no,
it?
I'll use it. I'll freeze it. I'm just going to make 2 layers.
I'll put it in my pocket and eat it this afternoon.
I'm telling you, if y'all like Italian like we do.
This is going to be great.
Oh, my. Oh, this is plenty big.
You got some noodle on the table on this side.
I do? Oh, okay. Well, I need all my noodles, y'all.
You do.
All my noodles.
I've never had all my noodles, so I wouldn't know
need
what
all
that
my
would be
noodles.
like.
Okay, now our ricotta or our cottage. I'm calling it ricotta because that's what the recipe called for, but mine's cottage cheese. So.
It's fake ricotta, isn't it,
But
baby?
we love cottage cheese. And I have seen lots of lasagna recipes using cottage cheese instead of ricotta. So.
Well, if you make ricotta in a cottage, it might be cottage cheese. I don't know.
Okay. All right. I am slinging this everywhere. I'm just going to put the rest of this in here.
I'm telling you.
All right, y'all. I'm excited about this one.
If you're low carb, this is about as close to a
Oh, yeah.
real lasagna as you can get
Yeah,
and have
yeah.
it delicious.
And have it delicious.
Now-
That's right.
Now, some people use vegetables for the
All
noodles,
right,
don't
now,
they?
chicken. Oh, you know what? All right. Chicken. Now this was 3.5 cups of chicken. The actual recipe called for 3 cups, but I wanted this to be pretty meaty, so and I may not use it all, but if not, I will. I've got some left in the refrigerator, and I'll make chicken salad out of it. Rotisserie chicken makes the best chicken salad.
Well, and this amount of chicken gives it a little more consistency too.
It does,
Since
yeah.
you don't have the real noodles in there.
All right, now I'm going to put some more of this sauce over the top and spread it out because I'm going to put cheese on top of this. Okay, get my spatula here, kind of spread this out.
That right corner doesn't have any.
I know, I got to get some more out of my pan.
Yep.
I got a little bit in my pan.
Yep.
And I am going to go ahead and put the rest of this chicken because
Yep. Honey, that
it'll just be good.
you can almost taste that by looking at it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I want to get all this sauce out of here. And now we're going to cover this.
And that's finger licking good sauce, let me tell you.
I'm telling you, you've heard of licking the pan when you make a cake.
Yep.
Well, you can lick the pan when you make this, I'm telling you. Okay. I want to get all my chicken covered so it doesn't dry out. You don't want your chicken to dry out, so you want it all covered. It's going to be covered with cheese, but still.
See that?
Y'all look at that.
That sauce. Oh my goodness. All that Italian seasoning on top of it.
Oh,
My.
yeah. Okay, now I'm going to spread a little bit more of my Parmesan. Not much, just a tad. Just a couple of tablespoons.
You can see why this is called white.
Yeah, I think that was what you call a kind of like a bechamel sauce or something like that. It's where you make your sauce out of flour and butter. But I'm just calling it lasagna sauce.
Now remember, if you eat a cup of this, it's low carb. If
So
you eat
that
2
was-
cups, it's medium.
That was 1.5 cups of mozzarella in my ricotta cottage cheese sauce, and I'm putting about a cup, because this is shredded real fine and on top. So, all right.
I was talking about low glycemic carb load. If you eat 2 cups, it'll be medium.
Oh, yeah. All right. I don't like to have a messy dish when I'm cooking, when it gets through cooking. So, all right, this is going in a, that is heavy.
Woo.
It is going in a 375 degree oven until my mozzarella gets hot and bubbly and browns a little bit, and the whole casserole just starts bubbling. So we'll see y'all back. I'm going to set it on 20 minutes, and then if it's not quite ready, I'll put it like 5 more minutes. So we'll see y'all back in just a few minutes. All right, y'all. 30 minutes is how long I cooked it. You ready, honey?
Grandma.
All right. We are about to give y'all a taste test. Oh my goodness. Look at all that sauce. All those noodles. Wow. Look at all that cheese.
Ooh, look at a piece of.
Y'all look. Doesn't that look good?
She's got some
Garlic bread.
0 carb garlic bread here, folks.
I've never done it in the air fryer, but guess what?
A tip: butter both sides of your 0 carb bread.
Y'all look at this. 0 carb bread, buttered both sides, put a little bit of garlic on it, crunchy. Y'all,
Time to go home.
wow. Y'all, this is delicious.
If you'll season these noodles like these hearts of palm noodles, like she does, they are delicious.
Can y'all hear that? Man.
Somebody said, I told Rose yesterday, said, Grandpa Roy, you look like Rose never feeds you. I'm just a big eater. But we're on maintenance, so
Yeah.
if you're actually trying to diet, you would eat less than we
Make you some of this. Wow. Y'all, this is a wonderful wonderful recipe.
This is good. This is good, good,
This
good,
is
good, good.
delicious. And use the hearts of palm pasta if you're low carb and gluten free. But if there's another pasta out there you'd rather have, if you're gluten free, then use it. But the hearts of palm is the best if you're low carb. All right. Food feeds the family. Family feeds the heart. God feeds the soul.
And she has hundreds of low carb, and many of them are gluten free also. Low carb load, like glycemic load. Some of them are keto.
Put deliciousness back in healthy food. See y'all next time.
Did you bump me to stop me?
He goes on and on and on, so I have to punch him every once in a while.